a time, 3 soldiers were marching home from war. Their names were Captain Andy, Private Charlie, and Private Max. They were tired and hungry and were looking for a village to find some food. Miss Laura, from a nearby village, was picking flowers. She heard the soldiers. Her village did not have enough food for hungry soldiers. The soldiers were tired. They laid down to rest. Suddenly, they heard a big growl. They were frightened. They thought it was a wild animal, but it was only Captain Andy's hungry stomach. The soldiers decided to march to the village and ask for food. In the village, Captain Andy pointed to a house. Max and Charlie went to the door to ask for food. The two people in the house told the soldiers that they had no food to spare.
Sorry, you don't know the thing we can do. Or no food to and some belly to wear. Or pantry is bare, not a thing we can do. We're sorry, dear Charlie, and Max, sorry too.
Max and Charlie reported the bad news to Captain Andy. He replied,
Why don't you try that house over there?
The two soldiers went to another house and asked for food. The people in that house told them they had no food to spare. Again, Max and Charlie reported the bad news to Captain Andy. He sent them to another house.
Why don't you try that house over there?
They asked for food, and the villagers shook their heads no. Max and Charlie asked Captain Andy what to do next. Captain Andy thought and thought. Suddenly, he had an idea. He whispered the idea to Max and Charlie. The soldiers found a big kettle in the town square. They filled it with water and built a fire under it. In the kettle, they put 3 round stones. The villagers watched the soldiers. They were curious and asked the soldiers what they were making. The soldiers said,
"Stone soup!"
They watched the soldiers stir the soup. They wondered how soup could be made of stones. They asked if they could help. Max, Charlie, and Captain Andy told them that some vegetables and meat would help the soup taste better. The villagers ran home and came back with food. One person put carrots in the kettle and stirred the soup. Another person put in some cabbage and stirred the soup. The villagers brought many more things to add to the soup. Onions, meat, barley, and spices. The soup smelled delicious. The village people decided to make the soup part of a big feast. They set a big table and had a wonderful dinner with the soldiers. The soldiers were happy that they had such a delicious meal. Their stomachs were full, and they went to sleep. The villagers were happy that they had learned how to make stone soup. The village band played, and everyone danced.
Thank you for being such a good audience. We'd like to recognize some of our main characters. Would the neighbors at the houses come forward? Would the band come forward? Would all of the vegetables and food people raise your hand and wave? Wave really hard. Miss Laura, would you come forward? And our soldiers, would you come forward? I'd like to recognize our kindergarten teachers. If you could just come forward and wave to the audience. Miss Libby. Miss Glenn. And then Mrs. West, who also is our narrator today. And then all of the villagers, let's take a bow together on 3. 1, 2, 3.